Oh, welcome back to the Nowcast discussion. Right now we see time is today. Really we have a slight risk. Not much really of the Mid Atlantic going to the southeast, where we see probably an MCS ongoing at this moment, or at least a lot of pop stores. Not really nothing too crazy going on for the south, but some severe potential has been ongoing across those regions. And take a look at, we have another slight risk across much of going into Iowa, into Nebraska. Um, Maybe a tornado risk throughout the evening. Send a few supercells. With some damaging winds and large hail. I think this is our main focus really. We have a slight risk over northern Minnesota. Mostly for a tornado risk, which is where we're going to be mainly focusing on, and as well as some damaging winds and large hail. So right now we can see pretty much a surface low located just in the periphery of the Fargo area. You see kind of a cold front draping down from it, as well as a warm front extending into, I think this actually going to along the, and maybe even further north of that. But right now we see a time of a triple point. This is mostly a triple point setup going into today. We see as around the surface low we see greater ascent. That's what's been increasing really convective inhibition, and you see quite ample instability aloft near the surface low, around 1,100, 1,500 to 2,500 joules per kilogram. We're seeing locally backed wind profiles out to the south, or maybe out to even the southeast, along to the warm front. So we're seeing some decently large hydrographs supportive really of those supercell structures. Once storms really get going, see time of a 700 millibar shortwave, basically probably extending right into there. We see some more kinks going into South Dakota, which might have an impact. But we see as well basically another pulse of energy going along at 850 millibars, and that surface trough the streak a tiny bit further off to the west. So there's quite a lot of really available sources for lift. So we see time with some showers really developing further north. We're seeing some pretty weak thunderstorms active at this time. And we see time with some strong surfacing ongoing, as well as some cumulus clouds a lot around. Also see with along or just near that surface low, and some supercells are going to be definitely possible near the triple point. We could be seeing quite a few of them. Basically probably right around there where we're probably seeing some storm development. Some supercells, and with that warm front really, we're seeing some enhanced vorticity coming from it, and with really ample low level instability out along it. I think decent stretching is going to be sufficient enough to really support 20-hour threat. So that's really something to keep in mind of. So anyways, we're seeing pretty strong take a look at 0 to 3 kilometer instability. Seeing basically around 25 joules per kilogram further south, but basically near the surface low, where you see the most maximum amount, around 100, 125 joules per kilogram at most. Seeing decently steep low lapse rates. At least good enough, 6.5 to 7 degrees Celsius per kilometer. Take a look at the mid levels. Rather steep, I think. Mostly out ahead of these storms are mostly where the steep lapse rates are. These are mostly an area where a tiny bit, they're not as good, around 6 6.5. For the west, it's around 8.5 times that dry air aloft seams with that EML. So, but storm development, really, I don't really anticipate is we're going into Wisconsin, Minnesota just yet. But into Iowa and Nebraska, I think probably some supercells are possible. Support really some significant hail, damaging winds, and maybe even a few tornadoes given the little hood RFs. Seems supportive of that in nature. But take a look at we see a time of a good trough actually. Time of see some defluence aloft actually close contour up into Montana, and basically pretty decent defluence aloft, spreading those wind vectors. Basically, really a source of that lift. So so I think, of course, it's gonna be really supportive, really of that convective inhibition continuing with that nearby with those surface boundaries. So we're probably gonna be seeing basically anarchic supercells near the surface low. It's gonna really track rapidly off to the north and east in the coming hours. Support of all hazards before probably congealing really into another line of storms once it really reaches the U.S.-Canadian border. So yeah, take a look at surface plots. Actually, we'll take a look at that last look, and I guess we can really depart. Basically nearby, seems like we're seeing 70 dew points reaching really far north into northern Minnesota, 73 over 70 over KFOZ, and basically near the storms, 88 over 70, 85 over 70, 88 over 66, 84 over 70, 90 over 68. So we're seeing some further south is a lot warmer. Probably got a lot more surface heating. And further west, 84 over 72. That's pretty close to the warm front. 79 over 71. So basically along and just south, it seems we're seeing some decent 70s dew points. And just to the north of it, we're still seeing probably some mid 60s, but a lot cooler though. To really that morning MCS that's moved through, and really have not seen sufficient destabilization at this time, but clearing will probably allow for downstream destabilization, so that's going to be supportive. That's your threat into the coming hours. So that's another short video tonight. I think I'm gonna probably release we'll be releasing maybe a lengthy pretty lengthy discussion about tomorrow. We'll see how long it gets, but definitely longer than usual. But preference really, and goodbye.